Hello, Abigail here. This is the tarot readings for Aquarius season. These are going to be for the water signs, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Each one will have an individual reading. Also, I've done a separate video about the astrology of Aquarius season. It will be linked below. But yeah, this is for my water signs, and I hope you enjoy. Hello, my Pisces. This is your tarot reading for Aquarius season. This is Pisces Sun, Moon, and Rising. Starting off, this is your archetype card. It is the seed. I love this. It has a little pearl in the center, which is very Piscean. You all are planting something. You are building towards something. You are planning. This is a very internalized season. It's also kind of the vibe I'm just getting as I'm doing these readings a lot. Of the cards so far have been about internal shifts and changes that down the road are going to have a really big external impact. But this Aquarius season is the time to go deep. Has a lot to do with all of the Pluto Sun conjunction and the Mercury conjunction, the Mars conjunction, which is now just a signature of Aquarius season for the next little bit. But this is time to plant and to invest and to grow something, knowing that it's going to take a little bit of time. I will say there are eclipses, so it's not going to take as long as you think, but it is the time to take something precious and to invest it into the future that you wish for. And then starting off for you, we have your card in the zodiac, not the zodiac, in the tarot, but it is associated with the zodiac sign Pisces. This is the High Priestess. This is a time to go within. This is a time to listen to your intuition and hone it and use that connection to plant the seed, to choose what you want to invest your time, energy, your money, all of these things in. Is it going to maybe seem a little ridiculous or far-fetched? Yes, because the High Priestess does not deal in the material. The High Priestess deals in the unseen. And so now is the time to harness magic and imagination and dreams to achieve what you deserve and to build something that creates lasting stability and care for you. We also have the Daughter of Pentacles, which I love because it's a little baby plant. And we're talking about a seed. Like I said, I don't think it's going to take that long for these seeds to, blossom and to grow, but you do have to do the work. I do think the eclipses are going to take this seed and grow it swiftly, but you do have to take the time to plant it, to care for it, to invest in it. And so, what is important to you? What do you want moving forward? What desire do you have? What connection do you need? What do you want this plant to turn into? What do you see for yourself in the future? These are all really important questions to be asking this Aquarius season, because the eclipses are going to take these dreams and manifestations and make them something beautiful and magical and larger than life. So it's important that you are thoughtful about this. We also have the Son of Wands. This is really connected to desire. This is a great time to harness your desires, to project into the world what you want, to take this little seedling and to put it into action step by step, but to power it through the energy of passion, desire, connection, care, all of these really beautiful things. Like I said, I don't think in Aquarius season specifically we're going to see the product, but I do think moving into Pisces season, and especially once we get to the spring equinox, we're going to see a lot of stuff unfolding a lot faster than we thought in the spring. And last but not least, we have the Chariot. This feels very much like your ruler, Jupiter, that is over in Cancer. This is the card of Cancer. You are on this journey of progression and change. No, this isn't the beginning, but this is a beginning. And it is time to set your sights like a salmon on your homecoming, on the place that you belong, and finding that for yourself, trusting in your inner knowing. The salmon knows how to get to the breeding grounds innately. It will go miles and miles through uncharted waters and territories just through instinct. And that is the energy of this season. You really have to walk trusting in your intuition, trusting in your personal power, believing that your soul knows the path that you should be on, and taking all of that belief and energy and putting it into your manifestations and into the seed that you are planting in this season. All right, my dears, that is my reading for Pisces for Aquarius season. I hope you have a blessed All right, my Cancers, we are getting into what is going to be going on for you during Aquarius season. This is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So let's get started. Your archetype card is Thanatos, which is a figure in Greek mythology that represents death. There is some form of death happening in this season, some form of ending, a facing of fears. It's not a huge shock. We have Pluto conjunctions, which are the ultimate fear facing moments. We also have an eclipse. So this isn't strange or out of place. This is you facing the finite things, the things that end. It also feels very Jupiter in Cancer, which is an exalted situation, but it's also an expansion of what we have. And if what we have is not necessarily what we want, or if we need to make space for better things to come, then it does end up leading to death. I don't think necessarily literal in this situation. I do think one or two of you might be experiencing a death. But this is about the transformation of energy and the power of recognizing that things end and what having a clear view on your place in life can do for you. And so this is a bit of a reality check, but also a recognizing of what is important for you. What do you deserve? What do you desire? And how can you make best use of your time knowing that we live in finite bodies? Which is interesting because the first card we get is the Ten of Coins. In your ability to release and to move through energy, you are going to be making space for so much wonderful, delicious magic for not just metaphysical and spiritual things, but for physical things. You are going to gain physical attainments by releasing your need to hold on to things, for your need to maybe ignore death or pretend that it doesn't exist. If you can make peace with loss, you will clear up so much space in your life for enjoying what there is and what you do have, and for inviting wealth and abundance. So I encourage you to face those shadows, to accept what is coming to all of us, to commit to your desires, because things are so short. And that is going to bring you the beautiful, wonderful gifts of the Ten of Pentacles. Now, it's not all free and smooth sailing. There is conflict. When you do this kind of work, you will find yourself in conflict with others. That is just how it works. Not everyone is going to want to go as deep as you are capable of. Not everyone is going to be able to continue into this part of your life with you. And that is a part of the Thanatos kind of ethos, is accepting that things end and accepting that, not everyone's going to be in alignment. It's also accepting that maybe some things aren't worth it and recognizing that there might be some petty things going on that you just don't need to be involved in, because you have bigger fish to fry and you have deeper connections to make. This is also an invitation to clear out kind of more superficial connections that aren't really helping you and that are kind of distracting you from going deeper and from really committing to yourself. Are there people around you whose opinions you take to heart, but they really don't have that much real effect on your life? Time to clear those people out. Time to be like, you know what? My opinion matters more. And with the time that I have, I plan to spend it with real deep connection rather than with these superficial situations, which those can be fun, but this is really about learning where to best put your energy. And part of the reason for that is the same about clearing out so that there's space for the material stuff you desire. Clearing out those kind of situationships and people who don't show up for you and all of those things is so that you can make deeper Two of Cups connections where intimacy and understanding and authenticity all live together, and creating deep, lifelong systems of support and care, and understanding that those things can fade and wane too, but they are worth investing in because people are worth caring for. I also think for some of you, a really important relationship is about to begin, especially with these eclipses, so keep an eye out. And also keep an eye out, if you are a karmic person, keep an eye out for the almost maybes, because when you're about to meet really deep connections, oftentimes almost maybes show up, and those are the people that have almost everything that you need, but there's something about them that is still a past pattern that is unhealthy. So just make sure that this is a healthy, wholesome situation, and not that almost maybe, which especially around eclipses, I find that those kind of upticks of having to work through karmic stuff and saying no to past habits, we get those kind of situations where we meet people that might trigger us, and cause us to maybe want to go back into some old patterns. Throw those off. We are only accepting connection and care that matters, and people who will stand with us regardless of what is happening in our lives. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. In all of this transformation and change, it is important to get a handle on what we have physically, what our possessions are, what we value, what is important to us as a person. So definitely in all of this, as we are facing these really serious themes, ask yourself, what are the important things to me in life? What are essentials? What are things that I have to live? Um, and integrate those into how you interact with people. Integrate those into your values. We can do multiple things at once, and we can look at these huge, massive endings and beginnings and these rich, deep things and finding these beautiful connections, and also being like, what are the little things that are important to me? What are the creature comforts that make life worth living? Is it a cup of tea every day? Is it, watching a certain TV show? So also indulge yourself a little this season. Anyways, Cancers, that is my reading for you, and I wish you a blessed Aquarius season. Alrighty, now on to our Scorpios. My Scorpios, this is your tarot reading for Aquarius season, Scorpio sun, moon, and rising. I also will have the astrology for Aquarius season linked below if you're interested in looking at that. But starting off, we have your archetype card, which is the Forest. Personally, I love the colors in this card. We also have a gem down here. This is you going into nature and into the cosmos and seeking out gems and gifting and magic of going into the natural world or into your natural self and finding the little gifts that we find along the way. This is a journey of self-discovery and of renewal. This is also an encouragement to make sure that you have quiet time and time alone to yourself, and that you get the isolation that you need. A lot of Scorpios need a downtime. Your Mars ruled energy just needs a bit of time to decompress and sit back. And in Aquarius season, you're going to need a lot of it. So just be aware that you need time to yourself to discover who you are now and what you need now. It's kind of this idea of like going out into the wild to find yourself. Maybe you can't get out into the wild, but maybe you can get alone and in an environment that allows you to self-reflect and allows you to decompress and to regenerate. Starting off, I do really love this. Probably my favorite card in all of the tarot is the Star. There's some really deep magic here for you. You also have the spiritual support of your guides and your ancestors and whoever you work with magically. There is a guiding light and a star for you out in the woods and in the forest. And connecting in that way with whatever ethos you are feeling called to is really important. So, follow your intuition and desires on that. Listen to the voices of your ancestors. Listen to your intuition in this season because it is not going to lead you astray. Then we have the Justice card. This season of reflection is about rebalancing. You've been overdoing it in some way, and now we need to kind of shimmy back to the middle. This is also about advocating for yourself. Are there people who are making demands on you that are not fair, or holding you to account for stuff that is not your responsibility? Now is the time to set a boundary. Now is the time to say, no, I have bigger fish to fry, or this is not my job, or my pay grade isn't high enough for what you're asking for. But this is about advocating for ourselves, about putting ourselves in a position where we are not being stretched too thin for the benefit of people who honestly should be dealing with this themselves. Then we have our lovely Three of Cups. We have connection and care in our lives, and in your kind of moment of rediscovery and self-discovery, and this is very similar to what Cancer was dealing with, it's also time to kind of clean house when it comes to who we're connected with. It's important that we have people who are aligned and inspire us. I'm not saying to ditch lifelong friends, but it is time to reconsider who we are spending our time with and how that energy and the energy of the people we spend our time with might be kind of destabilizing us. Do we have people who encourage us to grow? Do we have people who inspire us, who make us feel like our best selves? If not, maybe it's time to reconsider some of those relationships in this season. And I also think with the eclipses and the upcoming Mercury retrograde and Pisces season, it's going to happen for you. But if you can kind of start pulling these threads early, it makes the process way easier down the road. And it's also, all of these cards are dynamic. It's also about connecting to people who we do find are aligned with us and who hype us up and who love us and who believe in us. And to also remind ourselves to be that for others. And last but not least, we have the Chariot. This is a point in your journey that is a turning point. We are moving forward and through the energy with courage and ambition. This is also, especially with the horse imagery, reminding us that in the Chinese zodiacal calendar, we're going into the year of the horse on the 17th of February, which is also the Aquarius eclipse. So there is a bunch of massive eclipse energy heading towards you. So do the self-reflection now, because things are going to really kick off for you all by the end of Aquarius season. Just be aware. Those eclipses are going to hit hard. It's in a square to you, but they're hitting you hard because they are pushing you towards greatness. They are pushing you towards the things that you desire and opening up doors and creating gateways and pathways for you, even though it may be hard. So just know that the stress and strain you are under is going to be pushing you towards an easier, more flowing existence, especially with the eclipses. So trust and believe, and follow that deep intuition. Take that time for yourself this season to really redirect and reconsider. All right, my loves, my Scorpios, this is my reading for you. This is the end of the readings for the water signs, and we will be moving on to our fire signs. I will be posting that video a little later.